Good evening, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Welcome to Bizworld. The Malaysian unemployment rate remained at 3.5% in March at about 588,000 persons, which is 0.5% lower than February's numbers. According to the Department of Statistics, the number of employed persons increased 0.2% to 16.81 million persons. The services sector continued to register an increase in the number of employed persons, and similar trends in employment were also observed in the manufacturing, construction, and mining and quarrying sectors, as well as agriculture. Of the total unemployed persons, 80.3% were actively unemployed, meaning they're all available and are actively looking for work. And among the actively unemployed, 61.3% were those who were jobless for less than 3 months, while 6.4% were those who had been in long-term unemployment for more than a year. Hong Leong Investment Bank HLIB anticipates weaker growth in the gross domestic product GDP for the first quarter of the year. In a statement, the research firm said moderations across the board will cause growth to slow to 5.2% year over year. HLIB also expects a moderation in the manufacturing sector, reflected by the slowdown in the Manufacturing Industrial Production Index in the first quarter of the year. Growth in the services sector is also expected to slow, in line with the more modest volume index of services showing 8.8% year-on-year during the fourth quarter of 2022. Nevertheless, the firm sees services growth to be supported by the rise in tourist arrivals, as well as domestic demand following Chinese New Year and pre-Hari Raya celebration. Analysts are maintaining their neutral stance on the plantation sector with a full-year crude palm oil CPO price forecast of 3,800 ringgit per tonne. Public Investment Bank noted that despite seeing a dip in palm oil exports, inventories shrank to the lowest level in more than a year, as production surprisingly posted a decline owing to shorter harvesting days due to festive celebrations. The firm is also not seeing CPO prices increasing in the near term, in view of Indonesia's plan to flush out 3 million tonnes of CPO. As for Hong Leong Investment Bank, it maintained CPO price assumptions at 4,000 ringgit and 3,800 ringgit per tonne for now. Meanwhile, Affin Hwang Investment Bank said production of CPO in Malaysia will rise starting this month and maybe reach a peak in September or October this year. Overall, the firm expects production to increase in the 2023 season, potentially in the range of 18.6 to 18.8 million metric tons, on the back of the easing labour shortage. Previously, it was reported that Malaysia's CPO production decreased significantly by 2.8% to 5.12 million metric tons during the first 4 months of the year. The decline was partly due to fewer working days in April as compared to March, given the Hari Raya Aidilfitri festivities. The slowing inflation growth in the United States has driven the ringgit up as the greenback weakened. Chief Economist for Bank Muamalat Malaysia, Muhammad Afzanizam Abdul Rashid, said this as the US inflation rate moderated to 4.9% in April, lower compared to consensus estimates of 5%. He added that the US inflation rate has been progressively lower after reaching 9.1% in June last year, suggesting that the restrictive monetary policy stance by the US Federal Reserve has led to lower inflation, although it is still above the 2% target. As such, the chance of a pause in the Fed fund rate is rising, leading to a weaker dollar, hence the ringgit might appreciate against the greenback. At 9 a.m., the local note opens higher at 4.447 against the US dollar. The ringgit, however, was traded mostly lower against a basket of major currencies. That's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for investing your time with us and keep tuning in to TV Tiga.